What's going on? There was a murder in room 404.
It's just years and years of abuse. I just snapped.
Do you have any idea how much you gambled?
Thousands, tens of thousands.
Go into that room.
Lois always gave the biggest hugs.
She was a mom to everybody.
Hey everyone, it's your host here, and I need to warn you right now. This is one of the most disturbing cases I've ever researched. Picture this, a sweet 56-year-old grandma baking cookies for her grandkids, running a little daycare in quiet Blooming Prairie, Minnesota. Everyone loved Lois Reese, but behind closed doors, she was losing hundreds of thousands at the slots. And one day in 2018, she did the unthinkable. She shot her husband twice, covered his body with a blanket, and then lived in that house with his rotting corpse for 12 full days while she cashed his checks and kept gambling. And that's not even the craziest part, because while she was on the run, she found a woman who looked exactly like her, and murdered her too, just to steal her identity and keep feeding the addiction. I'm still shaking my head. This is the true story of the killer grandma, and her own words from prison will leave you questioning everything. Stick with me. You're not going to believe what happens next. Let me take you back to the beginning, because that's where this story gets so heartbreaking. Lois Reese married David in 1982. They had 3 kids, built a successful worm farm business together, and later she ran a daycare. 5 grandkids, the picture-perfect small-town life. But somewhere along the way, Lois discovered the Diamond Joe Casino. And for her, those slot machines became more than a hobby. In her own words from the 2024 HBO documentary, For the Monster, gambling is the worst drug ever. It's like a euphoric kind of a high. You feel special. She started hiding it, then she crossed a line. Between 2015 and 2017, she stole over $100,000 from her own disabled sister, money she was supposed to be managing as guardian. Civil court hit her hard, but no jail time, yet. David knew something was wrong. Arguments got ugly. Lois later told HBO investigators it had been years of verbal abuse, pushing, even hitting. By March 2018, the marriage was hanging by a thread. She said she was giving and neglecting my own mental health, and on the night of March 11th, after they left their grandson's basketball game early, 22 rifled during the fight and allegedly said, "Why don't you just kill yourself?" Everything exploded. Here's where it gets ice cold. According to court records and Lois's own statements, David handed her a loaded. Get it right this time. Lois looked him in the heart and pulled the trigger twice, once in the chest, once in the back. Instead of calling for help, Lois covered his body with a blanket in the bathroom. David had a defensive wound on his arm. He tried to stop her, and just kept living there for 12 days. While the body bloated and began to decompose, she forged checks. She cashed $11,000 from David's accounts. Security cameras later caught her smiling at the slots, while her husband was rotting just miles away. She even deposited worm farm money and gambled it away at the Diamond Joe. I still can't wrap my head around it. 12 days, the smell, the silence, and she just carried on. On March 23rd, police finally got a welfare check. They found David's body. Lois was already gone, driving his white Escalade south, chasing the next casino high. But she wasn't done. Lois drove through Iowa and Louisiana casinos, even hitting a $29,000 jackpot with stolen money. Cash started running low in Fort Myers Beach, Florida. That's when she met 59-year-old Pam Hutchinson at a beach bar. Pam looked identical to Lois, same build, same hair, same smile. They hit it off. Pam bought drinks. Pam invited her back to her condo. On April 5th, while Pam was brushing her teeth in the bathroom, Lois shot her twice in the back. She stuffed towels under the door, cranked the AC down to 61 degrees to slow the smell. She even used Pam's name to gamble more. In her HBO interview, Lois said, "I never anticipated hurting that woman," and walked out with Pam's ID, credit cards, car, and identity. Pam just got caught up in my breakdown. She called the whole thing a puzzle because parts of her memory were gone. Mental illness. The mind is a crazy thing. All I know is it happened. The manhunt was massive. Billboards everywhere. Killer Granla splashed across national news. Lois almost befriended another woman in Texas, but on April 19, 2018, at a little restaurant called Dirty Ol' S on South Padre Island, just 27 miles from the Mexico border, a manager recognized her from TV. He called the U.S. Marshals. They arrested her on the spot. 2 guns in her motel room. She smiled in her mugshot like nothing had happened. Lois pleaded guilty in Florida in December 2019 and again in Minnesota in August 2020 to life sentences with no possibility of parole. She's still serving them at the Minnesota Correctional Facility in Shakopee. In the 2024 HBO documentary, she finally spoke from prison. "What I did was an unpardonable crime. Solitude is forever. I feel I deserve this," she said. Her life without David is her real sentence. "My heart will always be his. I should have never taken him from his children, so here's what keeps me up at night. And I want to leave this with you. Was Lois Reese a cold-blooded monster who chose gambling over everything? Or was she a broken woman whose mind snapped after years of abuse and addiction? The family says it was pure greed. Lois says it was a breakdown. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, and we may never fully know. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling addiction, please reach out. The National Problem Gambling Helpline is 1-800-GAMBLER. You're not alone. What do you think? Victim of her demons? Or something darker? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If this story hit you as hard as it hit me, smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because next week I am bringing you another case that is even wilder. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.